The former Vice President of Nigeria, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, wants the current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu dead. This is politics of friends. They have been friends right from time. Atiku Abubakar and Tinubu became very close friends when they joined hands together in coalition to remove Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Now, Atiku is saying that Tinubu is supposed to be a dead man by now if he is from China or if Nigeria is like China, that Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, is supposed to be dead. Why? Because he said Tinubu is a drug dealer. Tinubu forfeited about 460,000 US dollars to the United States government through the Court of Illinois, and so on and so forth. Allegations about drugs dealings in the United States of America, questioning how could he be a president when he is still a drug dealer. Now, remember that this case went from Federal High Court to the Supreme Court. Bola Ahmed Tinubu did everything he could to making sure that America will not release his document. And that is one of the reasons Atiku now hire a lobbyist who will make sure that America will release Tinubu's document. Because Supreme Court affirmed that without the evidence from America that they can't stop Tinubu from becoming president. In other words, Atiku needs that document now to stop Tinubu. But all these things are laughable. Do you know why all these things are laughable? They are laughable because Atiku, as a close friend to Tinubu, he has something that he will use against Tinubu more than the issue of the drug dealing. Okay? And what could that be? It is the issue of importation of terrorists into Nigeria, which was imported by this coalition. But Atiku dares not to go there. You know why? Atiku became part of the coalition at the dying minutes. Now, during that election period, former secretary to the government of the Federation, Bache Lawal, told us that Tinubu paid 2 billion naira. You know the value of naira then. Tinubu paid 2 billion naira to Barack Obama's people to convince them to remove Tinubu. So this was politics taken too far. The lobby. So when people are talking about America, people should see. This is how America has been influencing things in Nigeria, either negative ways or positive ways. Tinubu paid 2 billion naira. In today's money, it's equivalent to 10 billion naira. That is what he paid to US. When Obama sent a delegate to Nigeria, they did not visit Asoroko. They went straight to Sokoto. They saw Buhari, they saw Rotimi Amechi and the rest people. They went back home. But that is apart. That is not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is that Atiku now is demanding that Tinubu should be stopped. Tinubu is supposed to be dead if he's in China. But he's not talking about the issue of these Fulani militia who are killing Nigerians. Why is he not talking about it? Because he is part, or he was part of it. The secretary of that coalition was Kawu Baraje from Kwara State. Kawu Baraje should be 76 years old man today. Yeah. Am I correct? No. Kawu Baraje is 75 years old man today and he's still alive. When he was celebrating his 70th birthday, he confessed again to what we all know. He said, we imported, he's talking about the coalition of Tinubu, Buhari, and the rest of them. We imported Fulani militia from Senegal. He started naming the countries. From Senegal, from Gambia, from Mali, into Nigeria, from Chad, into Nigeria to remove Goodluck Jonathan. Then what happened after they have imported these bandits? They said after importing these terrorists, they now saw that the new PDP, as they call them, that is this Dino Mendaye, Bukola Sariki, Atiku, have joined the coalition of AC and CPC. Because of that, they said they did not use the terrorists they imported again. The terrorists they imported to disappear. Buhari was boasting, based on the terrorists that were imported, that if he didn't win the election, the bamboo will be soaked in blood. Like they were prepared for national jihad, like kill everybody, let there be war. That was what they were prepared for. Oh, you know what? Another professor of law, who is a pastor of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Yemi Osibanjo, was on Chinese television, the whole national television, saying one thing: we are going to form parallel government. That Nigeria is going to have two governments: Goodluck Jonathan government and Buhari government. So they wanted to divide Nigeria if they lose the election. I'm not making this up. You can go and check the video. It's still on the Chinese television. I saw the video this morning again while making research to this. Now, Atiku Abubakar have something he could use against Tinubu, which is the importation of the terrorists, which someone like Peter Obi is afraid to use. Because I have said it countless times that I even wrote to NDC. This is not about politics. It's not about politics, but it's accountability. Why people are dying, it was caused by Tinubu, Buhari, and the rest of them. They confessed to it. This is not an allegation. This is what they have confessed. And that is why you see someone like Daniel Bwala was so bold to go to Chinese television to say Tinubu is the first president in the whole world who formed a terrorist organization to remove an incumbent president. Daniel Bwala was right. So I wanted a situation where someone who knows what he's doing as a presidential candidate will use this thing as an accountability method to hold people who imported these terrorists. But they don't have the liver. All of them don't have the liver to do that. You understand? So Atiku Abubakar is fighting tooth and nail based on the drug issue. But what about the importation of the terrorists? This is where the problem is. Because whether Tinubu is a drug dealer, all those things, it will only affect Nigeria in a little way. But what is affecting us is the killings that is going on in Nigeria was caused by the same Tinubu. He imported them. He and Buhari's coalition imported these people. We should be serious about this. And as I speak to you, yesterday night through this morning, more than 30 people were killed by the same people they imported in Southern Kaduna, in Kwara, everywhere, killings everywhere. These people caused the killings. They caused it. So who is going to bring these people to book? The people who are supposed to do it are the opposition political parties. Someone like the NDC, the AAC of Shore, the ADC, all these people. But guess what? Them not doing it, not putting interest in it, is a sign that nobody can save Nigeria. Nobody can save Nigeria. Because I do not see something that is hard for you to really come out and take this case up. Give subpoena to people who have confessed that they imported Fulani terrorists to be killing Nigerians. I know they are still in Asoro, but do something about it. If you love the people, do something about it. Atiku is just chasing shadow. And other people are afraid. All of them are afraid. And Nigerians don't want to talk about this. See, we have been talking about issue of terrorism. Nobody liked terrorism. Nobody liked the killing going on in Nigeria. But here is the problem. So we have the problem at hand. Like, we've discovered the problem. This is where it started. This is what caused it. Then nobody is ready to talk about it. Nobody is ready to talk about it. This is a treasonable offense. It attracts death penalty. So if Atiku is saying that Tinubu is supposed to die because of the drugs imported, that is not true. We should be talking about either Tinubu or even Atiku or Dino Mendaye or Bukola Sariki or Buhari, all these people that led to the importation of these terrorists. What we are supposed to be talking. I'm mentioning these people's name because they are part of the coalition, right? So what Atiku is supposed to be talking about is that importing terrorists into the country attract death penalty, that they're supposed to die. These people are not supposed to be living. So what Atiku said is somehow true, that if we are in China, including Atiku himself, will not be alive. They do be facing firing squad, or they must have been fired to death. But remove politics, remove religion, remove everything. Let's talk heart to heart. I want you to sit down and reason for once. I mean, these terrorists that have been killing you, every village, including my village, there is no village I've not visited. Your president coalition imported them. And you want the terrorism to end. You are joking. You are joking. And guess what? Everybody is on the line to vote in Tinubu again. Everybody is on the line. When I mean everybody, I'm not talking about the few genuine people in Nigeria. They bought governors already. They have amassed budgets to making sure that they would buy their way through. Tinubu just expand the military. They gave 12 divisions to Southeast and South-South. You may not see the movement before the election. He expanded the military before the election. State police before the election. Budget for all these people before the election. Buying of governors before the election. You people should know what they want. You people should understand what these people want. But all these things are not my major issue, because I have a belief that political regime change will change Nigeria. You see the way Nigeria is, no angel can change Nigeria. I still hold that belief till today. That the way Nigeria is with this structure. Peter B was on Chinese television yesterday. In fact, after listening to the interview, you will see that Peter B is the person he said he is. You understand? But guess what? Look at the reactions on the internet. What so many people are saying. Instead of them to be praising the man, they are tarnishing his image, saying all sort of things against him. See, you see, a country cannot be united. There is nothing you can do about this country. This country, the least that could happen, if there is anything you want to call Nigeria again, is that the country must be returned to regional autonomy. Security, resources, everybody will live on their own. That is a mini country. If not, like the country should allow everybody to go on their separate way. We are not living. This is not a country. Hatred, animosity, bigotry, everything you can name or mention, you will find it in this country. At the political level, at the religious level, everything you can talk and mention is in this country. And when you try to solve the solution, always refer to the root cause of the problem, that where it started. Look at the root cause of the problem. You will see that its foundation is wrong. So when the foundation is wrong, no matter how many buildings you tend to raise on top, you are wasting your time, because time will come, it's going to collapse. Time will come, it is going to collapse. That is why American researchers predicted in the year 2014, after seeing so many things in their research, they said, they titled the research A Failed State 2030. Go and read it. A Failed State 2030, that Nigeria is going to end by 2030. Do you know why they do that research? Because everything is pronouncing it today. Everything is pronouncing it. So, what will people do? This is not about individual. There's nothing an individual can do. Okay? There is nothing an individual can. We may try out, but you see all these opposition political parties, that's supposed to be their work. Someone who imported terrorists that have killed more than 1 million people should not be alive. That is my own, not what Atiku is saying. People who imported terrorists to Nigeria should not be alive. And for the fact that they have confessed about it, they should not be given chance to breathe. I mean, more than 1 million people have died because of their reckless action to grab power. This is insane. And I have so much belief why people always say that black men don't reason, black men don't, they have no IQ. You may argue it, but reality shows it. You may argue that black men are intelligent, but the reality doesn't show it. That someone imported terrorists into the country, up to today you are worshipping it. Does it show you have sense at all? No, you may drag it. You may say, oh no, people should not say this. Black men are not stupid. Black men created this, we created this, we are intelligent, we are this, we are that. It doesn't work. I work with reality. The reality says opposite. You work with the people who imported the terrorists, and you say you are smart. You want people who created the terrorists to continue in power. You say you are smart. And you clap for them. You see them. You did not drag them. You say you are smart. During the NSAX movement, I reached out to so many people. I said this is the time for us to demand that people who imported these terrorists should be brought to book. That was a genuine concern. Whether you like it or not, that is the primary problem we are having in Nigeria. These terrorists they imported that have taken over everything. But so many people are not showing concern about this issue of killings and terrorism. We have tried our best, encouraging vigilante groups, mobilizing vigilante groups, voluntarily, doing so many things. But that does not solve the problem in totality. This is a prevention, something we are doing. Oh, try to prevent them not to kill this community. Try to prevent them. Try to prevent them. That is all. That is all. But the real cause of it is that the people who brought these terrorists must go down. They must go down. Communities must be given. That is why I always talk about another country, dividing the country into people's belief and people's identity. Because you need an autonomy. You need a military power of your own to solve this problem that is going on. You need a country, you need a sovereignty to solve this problem. Because Nigeria's sovereignty cannot solve it. Because Nigeria's sovereignty created it. So, this is what it is. Atiku Abubakar, in the summary of this, is not innocent. Yeah, it's not innocent. They all should come out and confess. They should be plain. to confessing what went wrong. That is it.